Backbone, your backbone connected to your shoulder bone.
Hi, welcome to Shitty Reviews. This week I had the pleasure of watching Evil Ed, a Swedish gore film. I guess you could kind of call it gore. Yeah. Evil Ed, directed by Anders Jacobsen. It had a great start. Guy's head gets blown up right away. He's pretty crazy. It's definitely a fucked up way to start a movie, but that's about it, man. The beginning's great, I'll give you that. So Ed's basically a film editor, and usually he edits, melodramas in a different language. Well, actually I should say, the whole movie seems like it was overdubbed. It seems like they're saying the words in English, but definitely I would say 90% of the time the words are on, the other 10% are way off.
Doves will nest in your heart. Please, let me go.
It's a Swedish film, so I'm guessing the actors are Swedish. I'm not even going to try and say half their name. I'm not going to try and say any of their names.
Not the worst thing I've seen.
So like I was saying, Ed is a film editor, and he's usually dealing with the melodramas. Well, he gets called up to the slasher department, and they want him to edit all the films for Loose Limbs. The whole series. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. However many there are. Ed meets Sam Campbell. I wonder where they got that from. It's Evil Ed. There's a lot of horror references in this movie. A lot. And that part's great. I love catching all the little nods that they have to other horror films in there. His wife's name's Barbara, so I was just waiting for it.
I'm coming to get you, Barbara.
Sam Campbell is the executive producer for Loose Limbs, and he wants Ed to edit out all the gore and all the violence and all the cursing, but leaving the beaver scene. There are a lot of nods in this movie. There's a nod to Halloween that I noticed, Reanimator, definitely Night of the Living Dead, Taxi Driver's definitely one of them. The film tries to do comedy and horror. It doesn't do either one very well, I should say that, but it does have some good scenes, and some of the gore is okay, but the movie itself, Evil Ed, doesn't have a lot of gore. The movie he's editing, I want to see those films. Loose Limbs, I definitely want to see that film series. Those look badass.
Man, the dubbing is bad.
The music's bad. Well, it starts out real techno-y, and then there's just this one song that carries it through the whole frickin' movie, and it kind of gets stuck in your head.
When your head bone connected from your neck bone connected from your shoulder bone, your shoulder.
I think I heard Bill Moseley somewhere in there, so that's great. They got him involved. So back to the story. Ed's doing all the editing for this movie, and guess what? He goes crazy just like the last guy. The guy from the very beginning. Slowly he starts hallucinating things. He starts seeing demons. There's a weird gremlin in his refrigerator.
Fuck you, man.
As he goes crazy, he starts killing people. The bodies start piling up.
They're all dead.
Somewhere in the mix we meet Nick, and Nick basically is the film delivery guy, but he looks like a pizza delivery guy the whole time. That's what I thought right away. I was like, is he getting a fucking pizza? Nick keeps dropping off more parts in the Loose Limbs series, and Ed goes crazier and crazier. And somewhere in there, Ed kind of reminds me of Xander Berkeley, if you know who that is. He's in the Candyman series, Terminator, a number of things. Oh my god. The daughter birthday scene, holy shit, the overdubbing on that part.
We're going out to see your daddy.
But, Mother, what about my party?
Ed is a shitty dad. The more further down the rabbit hole he goes, the shittier he becomes. I think this film came out at a time in Sweden when they weren't allowed to do gore. They weren't really into violence and stuff, so there's definitely a social commentary there that I'm definitely not going to get into because that's not my thing. The kid and her damn birthday party. That part's probably one of the better overdubbing mistakes. It is not good. I'm not gonna completely ruin it, but Nick basically gets his ass whooped. He ends up getting fucked up going to the hospital. Ed gets fucked up. Ed gets beat up. He gets half his face shot off. He gets shot again. He gets hit in the head. He falls off a fucking building. He almost becomes supernatural. So apparently if you watch enough horror movies, you'll become supernatural.
Man, I could only hope to be that lucky.
Ed's fucking wife comes in. She gets fucked up. Somewhere in the mix, the cops get called. They finally get his ass to the hospital. And then that's where Ed finally gets his. One of the best kill scenes in the whole movie is right at the end. Ed gets it the worst. Once they get to the hospital, basically a mini war breaks out. They call in some kind of army. I don't know what they have in Sweden, but they're definitely kind of look like cops, but they kind of look like the army. I don't know. I'm going to be honest, I kind of drifted in and out once it was kind of at the end there. It was not that good. The overdubbing, that killed me on a lot of it. And like I said, most of it was fine, but man, I don't want to say too many bad things about it. It's a good movie. They tried. All their horror nods are great. Maybe I need to watch it again. It was late when I watched it, so maybe a few more times. And there seems like there's going to be great one-liners in there that I'm just going to have to kind of watch and keep on watching. I'd give it probably 3 out of 5 stars. Definitely not the worst thing I've seen for a Swedish gore film. That's weird to say. So I highly recommend that you go out and check out Evil Ed. Give it a shot. Go check out this 1995 soon-to-be cult classic, Evil Ed. If you like comedy horrors with a Reanimator vibe, but with very bad overdubbing, check it out. You won't be disappointed. So give us a like, leave a comment if you've seen Evil Ed, and until next time, to edit. Sam Campbell's the, but Nick keeps dropping off more and more films. Nick keeps dropping off more and more Loose Limbs